We start with urgency and a dare. Stay with me for the next minute, and I'll show you 7 subtle, unnerving indicators that you're not walking alone and that the help you're getting isn't angelic, even if it's effective. I'm not here to scare you. I'm here to sharpen you. The hook is simple. You think you're just having a streak of luck, a burst of productivity, or a phase of strange coincidences. But the pattern is too precise, the timing too sharp, and the payoff always comes with an invisible tax. Tonight, I'll walk you through how we diagnose each sign, what it does for you in the short term, what it costs you in the long term, and exactly how to alchemize it, because power that owns you is a curse, and power you own becomes a gift. Imagine this opening sequence, a temple corridor flooded with dusk light, a candle that won't go out in the wind, numbers repeating on every clock. A room suddenly colder by a few degrees, a friend's voice in a dream telling you to speed up. And your biggest win arriving the day after you break your deepest value. We won't sensationalize, we'll systematize. By the end of this part, you'll know whether you're amplifying your shadow with help you don't want to owe. And yes, I'll show you how to keep your gains without paying with your soul. Sign 1, outcomes without effort, followed by depletion without explanation. You know this one, you skip the line, the opportunity drops in your lap, the deal signs itself, and then you're wrecked. You can't sleep, or you sleep 12 hours and wake up with lead in your bones. The demonic signature isn't the acceleration, it's the extraction. Resistance from light tends to strengthen you even when it challenges you. Resistance from shadow tends to deliver a win while siphoning your voltage. Practical test: rate your input and output. If the last 5 wins were 2 out of 10 effort but left you 8 out of 10 depleted, that's suspect. The quick cut for the video, you smiling at an email, smash cut to you staring hollow-eyed at a wall. The fix is counterintuitive, you reinsert friction. Set a ritual tax you pay to your soul whenever a win comes too easy: 10 minutes of breathwork, a gratitude note to someone unglamorous, and a review of your non-negotiable code. You're teaching your system, we don't accept blessings that break our backbone. Ask yourself a hard question. Would you be willing to do it the slow way if the fast way cost you self-respect? Sign 2, microscopic coincidences that herd you toward shortcuts. Streetlights change just as you approach. Your feed shows tools you needed. Strangers mention the exact hack that lets you skip the mastery. It feels like fate is steering you, but the direction is always side door, never front gate. The pattern matters more than the event. Persistence from shadow loves to collapse timelines without building character. The re-engagement at the 3-minute mark is a guide moment. Imagine an elder asking, if the universe can choreograph coincidences, why would it lead you away from craft? The diagnostic move is the craft check. For each coincidence, ask whether it points you toward depth or away from it. If 3 out of 5 coincidences pull you toward optimization over understanding, beware. Practical pivot: for every shortcut you take, schedule a compensatory mastery block. Study the fundamentals you bypassed for 52 minutes. Keep a ledger called debt to craft. Pay it daily. The wow is not the coincidence, it's you refusing to be puppeted by it. Sign 3. A sudden spike in charisma that outpaces your integrity. You walk into rooms and people lean in. Your jokes land, your pitch glows, your posts erupt. But inside, there's a half-second delay between what you say and what you know is true. The demonic assist amplifies signal without checking source. People think charisma is a gift. It's also a weapon. And if you wield it while off-center, you cut yourself first. Mid-video intensity hits between minutes 3 and 6. We increase stakes by showing the montage applause, DMs, invites intercut with micro-betrayals you commit. You promise timelines you can't meet. You claim certainty you don't have. You hint at outcomes you haven't earned. The fix is brutal and simple. Truth reps. Before any public output, speak 3 sentences aloud: what you know, what you believe, and what you're testing. Don't let your mouth outrun your alignment. Set an integrity governor, a trusted friend or mentor who can veto your launch if your claims exceed your proofs. It seems extreme, so is spiraling into a persona that devours you. Ask yourself, would the part of me I respect most be proud of the way I'm winning? Sign 4. Protection that feels like a cage. Opportunities fall away just when you're about to choose the path that scares you but is right for you. People mysteriously cancel, and injury forces you to rest. Your tech dies the day you plan to ship. On paper, it reads like bad luck. In your gut, it feels like rubber walls. The signature here is that you're spared from risk, but also from growth. Guidance tests courage, interference erodes it. Diagnostic practice, the fear-truth split. Write the bold move you meant to make. Underneath, list the fear it triggers and the truth it honors. If cancellations cluster around truth-honoring moves, you're being herded towards safety at the expense of soul. Counter move, pre-commit in public with a consequence that is hard to reverse. Book the venue, pay the deposit, invite the people. You build momentum that obstruction has to work harder to stop. At minute 6, the second re-engagement, you will experience a small miracle. When you defy the cage, someone you admire replies. A door opens, a tool appears. Let that be your North Star, not the soft pillow of delay. Mercy toward yourself doesn't mean mercy toward your avoidance. Sign 5. Dream visitations that flatter, bargain, or rush. Not all dreams are messages. Many are trash day for the psyche. But there's a specific texture here. A familiar figure offers a trade: visibility for a boundary, speed for silence, dominance for listening. The dream leaves you energized and oddly urgent. Assistance from shadow mimics inspiration but lacks the sober aftertaste of responsibility. If your dream gifts you a crown but not a calendar, be careful. Practice the dawn audit. Within 5 minutes of waking, write the dream in blunt terms, then note any action it suggests. Delay action for 24 hours while you run it through your code. Does this move align with my values, my long game, and my duty to people I affect? If yes, schedule it. If no, thank the dream and delete the impulse. If you're still haunted, do a ritual. Cold water on the face, whisper your core vow, and take one small action that proves you serve your oath, not your adrenaline. The deep question: are you addicted to urgency because it keeps you from hearing the quieter instructions that would actually change your life? Sign 6. Money, attention, or influence surge exactly when you compromise a value, and the world rewards you for it. You shade the truth, the metrics jump. You pivot your message to trend, the graph spikes. This is the cleanest fingerprint. Assistance from shadow loves to train you like a lab rat. Press lever, get pellet. The danger isn't the spike, it's the conditioning. The soul tax arrives later as numbness, paranoia, or contempt for your audience. The fix is a reverse conditioning protocol. Every time a compromised action pays, you allocate a tithe to integrity, donate to a cause that counters the compromise, or create a piece of content that clarifies the truth you blurred. Even better, don't take the win. Delete the post that exploded if it violates your vow. That move resets your nervous system's reward circuitry. It's terrifying, it's freeing, and it's a spectacle only a few will believe you did for real. You'll sleep like someone who can look a mirror in the eye. Sign 7. A cold, efficient calm that replaces wonder. You're focused, productive, unbothered, and strangely colorless. Food tastes less. Music hits flat. Laughter feels like a performance. The demonic assist optimizes you as a tool, not a being. The metric rises. The miracle dies. The remedy is to reintroduce awe on purpose. Awe makes you unpalatable to forces that prefer you numb. Daily, pursue a small wonder, sky at dawn, a piece of music in darkness, kneeling to smell the earth, slow reading of a paragraph that rearranges you. Pair it with service, a concrete act of generosity that doesn't benefit your brand. Wonder plus service rehumanizes power. Quick tactic, the 3-3-3 humility rule: 3 minutes of sky, 3 minutes of breath, 3 minutes of breath, 3 minutes of silent gratitude for specific people by name. Measure your calm not by numbness, but by warmth returning to your chest. Now we lace it all to the viral architecture because we want this message to spread because it's useful, not just sensational. The title already cuts. 7 signs you're being quietly assisted by demonic forces. The thumbnail shows a hand offering a crown in the dark, but the crown's shadow is a chain. First minute hook delivers 2 scenes: the effortless win with the invisible tax, and the integrity move that breaks the spell. At minute 3, the re-engagement is the elder's question and the candle that refuses to go out even as wind howls, symbolizing what endures when you choose soul over speed. At minute 6, the second re-engagement is the micro-miracle that arrives after you defy the cage. The back half resolves by giving you a code, not a cliffhanger. A 5-line oath you can speak right now: I refuse victories that empty me. I trade speed for substance. I test coincidences against craft. I keep charisma leashed to truth. I tithe my wins to integrity. Then we end abruptly. I ask you to write 1 compromise you won't repeat and to take 1 step tonight that proves it. Close the notebook. Blow out the candle. Sit in the power you just claimed back from anything that feeds on your fear. The integrity engine: how to convert dark assistance into clean power without losing your edge. We begin with a clean blade and a challenge. If shadow help has been boosting your results at the cost of your center, we're going to strip out the poison without throwing away the lessons. Think of this like a voltage transformer. You keep the wattage, you change the wiring so you don't burn the house down. The first minute hook is a memory you recognize. You cut a corner, the numbers jumped, and you told yourself you'd fix it later. Later never came. Tonight it does. We set clear expectations. I'll give you a 5-step integrity engine that takes any suspect advantage and runs it through tests, so you either alchemize it into clean power or you reject it with 0 regret. You'll see quick, cinematic tests: breath fogging in a winter alley, a phone placed face down and locked in a drawer, A single page taped to a door with your oath in thick marker, and then we'll implement micro actions you can take before the video ends. You're not just watching transformation, you're performing it. Step 1 is pattern diagnosis. We stop treating signs like isolated events and chart them. Create a one-page shadow assist map with 7 rows for the 7 signs and 4 columns. Trigger: what preceded it, reward: what you got, cost, physical, relational, spiritual, and recurrence: how often in 30 days. Keep it brutally factual. If your metrics spike when you stir drama, write it. If your sleep collapses after effortless wins, write it. We're removing glamour and installing clarity. The viral re-engagement at minute 3 arrives as a jolt. I show you a montage of creators, founders, and quiet professionals who replaced superstition with data for 2 weeks, and their hauntings lost leverage. The lesson: demonic assistance thrives in fog. You add light, it loses its edge. Now the practical ask: commit to a 14-day log. No philosophy debates, just inputs, outputs, costs. You'll be stunned how predictable the mystery becomes. Step 2 is value recalibration. Shadow help exploits ambiguity in your code. So we etch the code in stone. Write 5 non-negotiables that are so specific they can be audited. For example, I don't promise timelines I can't meet. I do not publish claims without proof. I never accept invitations that require me to hide a boundary. I rest before I'm wrecked. I tithe the 10% of wins to people who can't repay me. Speak them out loud daily for 7 days. Put them somewhere ugly and visible: fridge door, bathroom mirror, phone lock screen. The integrity engine now has rails. When a shortcut shows up, your code doesn't ask, "Is this bad?" It asks, "Does this violate line 2? The difference is everything. Mid-video intensity ramps here. We run a simulation on camera of 2 paths, one obeying the code, one violating it. The violating path glitters, then grinds. The code path compounds in quieter, heavier ways. The viewer needs to feel the gravity, not just hear it. Step 3 is counter-conditioning. You retrain your nervous system so integrity pays immediately. Shadow help hacks your dopamine, we hijack it back. Implement the integrity reward loop. Every time you make a choice that costs you speed but protects your soul, you trigger a small, reliable reward. Not sugar, not scrolling something that strengthens you. Examples: 3 minutes of music in darkness, a set of push-ups, a call to a friend where you only listen, a short walk under open sky. Pair the action with the phrase, "paid in full." You're training your brain to associate integrity with power, not loss. At minute 6, our second re-engagement is a quiet miracle that shows up when you do this for a week. Your baseline anxiety drops, sleep deepens, and, paradoxically, opportunities that fit your code arrive with less struggle. You didn't manifest, you stopped leaking. Step 4 is charisma leash and craft debt. If shadow help inflated your signal, you tie it to substance. Set a simple rule: for every public claim, one private proof. Announce a principle. Document a case study. Drop a strategy, teach it to someone and record the before-after. Open a launch, ship a free, high-quality sample that works without upsell. And about craft debt, list the skills you skipped in your sprint to results fundamentals you glossed over because coincidence or chaos gave you a pass. Assign a 52-minute block 3 times a week to pay that debt. Read boring manuals. Practice basics. Build the muscle memory that doesn't crumble under pressure. This is where the integrity engine converts shaky spikes into load-bearing pillars. The montage here shows time lapses of hands practicing scales, code being refactored, footwork drills at dawn. Your shadow respects sweat. When you sweat, it stops mocking you. Step 5 is boundary automation and awe reintroduction. Shadow assistance loves porous edges and numb hearts. So you automate your no's and re-sanctify your yeses. Build no scripts, 3 pre-written, polite refusals for common traps, last-minute favors that gut your focus, gigs that underpay and overpromise, collabs that need your audience but not your values. Store them as text expander shortcuts. Your future self will thank you in emergencies. Then reintroduce awe daily to become indigestible to predatory energies. The 3-3-3 humility rule from part 1 becomes non-negotiable. Add a weekly mercy rep, a specific act of generosity that has no branding value, anonymous gift, dishwashing for a tired friend, planting something living. Awe plus mercy recalibrates your power source from adrenaline to reverence. You become dangerous in the right way, strong, warm, accurate. Let's address the 3 hardest objections that are already whispering. 1. If I stop using the fast path, I'll lose momentum. Truth: momentum built on leaks is velocity toward a cliff. You won't lose momentum, you'll redirect it into something you can stand on in 5 years. 2. But the audience rewards the glitter. Some do. The audience you're building your life around will reward the gravity. Choose your crowd by choosing your code. 3. What if I've already compromised too much? Then your redemption arc will be beautiful and useful to others. Invest cleanly where needed, repair what you can, and make your next 10 decisions immaculate. 10 is enough to change your vector. Now we stage the wow factor that no one else will try because it's not clickbait, it's a live oath. You and I go to a threshold place, a bridge at night or your front doorstep at dawn. You bring a single page with your 5-line code. You read it out loud. Then you fold it, place it under your dominant foot, and stand on it for 60 breaths. You are literally standing on your word. From this day, let every big decision pass the foot test. Would I be proud to stand on this choice? If yes, proceed. If no, decline, even if it glitters like a crown. The camera cuts to your face. You're calm, not numb, alive. We sustain investment in the back half by giving you a 7-day integrity engine sprint. Day 1, build the Shadow Assist map and log 2 events. Day 2, write the 5-line code and post it somewhere visible. Day 3, set your integrity reward loop and use it once. Day 4, select one area of craft debt and schedule 3 52-minute blocks. Day 5, install 3 no scripts and practice sending 1. Day 6, do a mercy rep and the 3-3-3 humility rule twice. Day 7, public micro-confession and correction, a short note clarifying a past overclaim, or a course correction on your project plan. Each day ends with paid in full. Keep footage, even if only for yourself. You're building evidence that you are changing. Let me ask you the question that cuts deepest. What victory are you terrified to surrender because it was born of compromise? Name it. See it. Are you willing to exchange it for a quieter, heavier win that will still be standing a decade from now? That's not theoretical. You can make a trade tonight. Delete the misaligned post, refund the mispriced client, decline the glittering podcast you'd have to lie on. The void that follows is holy. It teaches you that you were held up by the integrity of your spine all along, not the scaffolding of approval. Abrupt ending with a payoff. Close your eyes. Speak your 5-line code aloud. Pick the one clause you're most likely to break under pressure. Schedule one action in the next 24 hours that proves you won't. Put your phone in another room for 52 minutes and do the work your future will thank you for. Then stop. Don't explain. Don't seek applause. Let silence notice the new weight in your voice. The prize isn't spectacle, it's sovereignty. The edge you feared losing? It returns as precision. The severing and the synthesis, cutting hidden chords, fortifying boundaries. We begin with the blade you've earned. Up to now we've diagnosed and recalibrated. Now we sever what siphons and synthesize what serves. The first-minute hook is a scene you can stage tonight. A single thread tied from your doorknob to your desk chair, representing every unseen chord tugging at your focus. You take scissors, pause to name each chord approval, urgency, shortcuts, spectacle, and cut them one by one. The sound is small, the shift is seismic. Clear expectations. We're going to identify hidden chords, cut them without drama, and build a synthesis protocol so every temptation gets metabolized into long-game leverage. We keep the mess or beast style pacing with quick, high-stakes micro-challenges while maintaining spiritual precision. The goal is not to become untouchable, it's to become unhookable. You still feel, but you don't leak. You still move fast, but you don't skip the steps that make speed sustainable. Hidden chord 1 is the invisible pact with urgency. It whispers, now or never, whenever depth calls you to slow down. The signature is a jitter in your chest and a compulsion to reply, post, or buy immediately. The severing move is the 2-gate protocol. Gate 1 is breath. 3 rounds of 4-7-8, thumb to ring finger as an anchor. Gate 2 is question. If this were still available in 48 hours, would I want it? If yes, set a 48-hour hold. If no, decline now. To synthesize temptation, you convert the impulse into a scheduled sprint inside your feast window. You keep the energy, but you feed it to craft. Quick cut for intensity, your finger hovering over buy, then pivoting to build. Ask yourself a deeper question. When did urgency first prove it could control you? And what would your life feel like if it couldn't? Hidden chord 2 is applause as compass. It masquerades as market feedback, but inside it replaces your internal code with external noise. Sever it by installing the 2-circle system. Circle A is mission-critical audience, the 1% whose problem you exist to solve, who value your integrity over your velocity. Circle B is everyone else. Before launching anything, define a success metric only circle it can validate, specific outcomes, not vanity numbers. After launch, read only Circle A's data for 72 hours. B can buzz outside the glass. Synthesis comes from creating a praise tithe. When applause spikes, you allocate 10% of the energy toward an unsexy foundational task documentation. onboarding, training, security. You're metabolizing noise into bone. Mid-video intensity climbs as we show the montage, comments flooding, your eyes drop to a small dashboard tracking mission outcomes, a calm nod. Then you open a boring spreadsheet that actually makes your future safer. The thrill migrates from dopamine to dignity. Hidden chord 3 is the hidden subsidy of resentment. It's a dark fuel that makes you productive after a slight, and it works until it hollows you. Sever by switching to reverent fuel. Choose a person, principle, or place you vow to honor with your work. Before a big push, whisper their name or your vow. This reorients the same energy around love instead of grievance. To synthesize, you perform a mercy rep immediately after any success that came from anger. Send an anonymous gift. Credit someone publicly. Teach a beginner. You prove to your nervous system that power sourced in reverence is safer and more stable. Second re-engagement at minute 6. Notice the eerie calm that arrives when you let resentment go and you still perform. That's the miracle. The demonic assist loses a primary lever. You keep the horsepower. Hidden chord 4 is permission addiction. You wait for a nod from institutions, mentors, or even algorithms. The severing cut is a public charter, a 200-word declaration of what you make, for whom, and under what code, published on your site or a pinned post. No bravado, clear scope, clear boundaries, clear cadence. Then you install the autonomy trigger when you catch yourself asking, is this allowed? You ask, is this aligned? If aligned, proceed without external yes. Synthesis comes from building microcourts, 3 peers with shared values who review high-stakes decisions asynchronously using a standard rubric: integrity, impact, and reversibility. No gatekeepers, just guardians. You're decentralizing permission across people who want your soul intact. The wow factor here is subtle but rare. You turn the lights on in rooms that used to be haunted by doubt. Hidden chord 5 is the glamour of transgression. The shadow loves spicy edges that make you feel special for breaking rules. Sever with ritualized rebellion. Choose one rule you will break publicly because it's obsolete and harmful. Then explain your reasoning and the safeguard you use in its place. Example: abandoning hustle theater for audited output, or refusing midnight emails in favor of measured sprints. You still get the heat of rebellion, but you attach it to wisdom. Synthesis is an upcode move. Whenever you ditch a lower standard, you install a higher one. Replace "I work late to be loyal" with "I document to be reliable." Replace "I shock to get attention" with "I teach to build competence." The crowd might miss the fireworks. They'll feel the infrastructure. Now we operationalize severing with a sequence you can run in 20 minutes. Step 1. Name the chord. Write one sentence that starts with "I secretly rely on." Step 2. Price the chord. List the cost in energy, relationships, and reputation. Step 3. Choose the cut. Select the exact protocol above. Step 4. Schedule the synthesis. Book a feast window block to channel the freed energy. Step 5. Proof of severance. Perform one small public action that reflects the new mode: a clarified policy, a boundary email, a transparent metric, a free lesson. Abrupt, clean, real. The back half payoff is not cathartic sobbing. It's you shipping something heavier because you're lighter. Let's integrate with time. So this isn't a one-week wonder. Create a 10-year temptation ledger. Across the top, write the 5 chords. Down the side, list the years 1 to 10. Each quarter, you score your susceptibility from 1 to 10 and note the best sever synthesize move that worked. You're turning temptation into longitudinal data. Pair this with the brick ritual, so every severing is followed by building. Example, after deleting a misaligned viral post, you publish a sober case study. After declining a glittery collab, you create an internal training that will save your team 50 hours this year. The message to your future is constant. We don't just say no, we say yes to something sturdier. We need to talk about relapse without shame. You will be tempted again because you are alive. Create a relapse cushion, a pre-written, 3-step recovery you can run within 24 hours. 1. Confess to your microcourt with facts only. 2. Repair if there's a harmed party. 3. Overcorrect with a visible integrity move that costs you a little. Then let it go. Guilt beyond repair is vanity. It keeps you at the center. Return to service. Here's the spectacle no one else can fake because it requires guts, not graphics. We stage a live sever and synthesize challenge. You bring one real temptation to the table, a trending shortcut, a hot take you don't fully believe, a partnership that smells like speed. We run the 2-gate protocol in real time. If it fails the code, you decline it on camera, then immediately book a mastery block, post your public charter, or send your no script. The internet thrills to takedowns. We create a takedown of our own self-deception. The wow isn't the refusal, it's the redirection. Viewers see a human choose the heavier path and gain visible peace. That peace is contagious. We close this part by forging the synthesis flywheel so every temptation becomes training. Temptation arises, you pause, breath, and question. If aligned, you proceed with a boundary. If misaligned, you sever and tithe the freed energy to craft. You log the move. And you ritualize awe to keep your heart unhard. Repeat until reflex. Ask the deepest question of this series so far. If all the forbidden doors stayed open, but your soul could not follow, would you grieve the doors or celebrate the self that would not leave itself? Your answer writes your future. Abrupt ending with a payoff. Take the scissors. Cut one literal thread tied to your chair right now. Speak. I keep acceleration. I return sovereignty. Send one message that enforces a boundary you've delayed. Book one 52-minute block for craft debt in the next 24 hours. Then stop. No speech. Let the quiet ring. That ringing is your life re-entering your body.